Oh, hi diddly dee, here we go again. Welcome back to Grand Theft Audio Song Brackets, currently doing business as Disney Song Brackets, my show where I take 64 songs from the last 100 years or so of the Disney Animated Canon, break them up into 4 regions of 16 songs apiece in rough chronological order, rank them and seed them in the style of a March Madness style tournament based upon things like chart performance, how many awards they won, and generally how beloved they are by the public, pit them against each other in a March Madness style bracket, and asked you, my 30 or so viewers, to decide which one is the winner of each contest. The final winner of each region will face off against 3 other contenders in our final four to determine which of these Disney songs is, in fact, the best Disney song of the last 100 years or so of Disney Animated Canon. If you're just now joining us, we are at our final round of our 3rd region overall, which I've deemed the Classics region, which stretches roughly from Snow White until about halfway through the Jungle Book. In some cases I had to split up which songs from a movie went into which bracket, so Jungle Book has 1 song in this region and 1 song in the next region, just to make things even. The last time we saw each other, we were at our very final round between the 2 top contenders, incidentally also the number 1 and number 2 seed in this Classics region. That is to say, When You Wish Upon a Star from Pinocchio, our number 1 seed, versus the Bare Necessities from the Jungle Book, our number 2 seed. It was said to be a very close contest as both of these songs absolutely smashed whichever competition they came up against in the matchups of the bracket leading up to this final competition. I am shocked to see, however, that it was actually fairly one-sided this time around. We had a very clear winner, and that was When You Wish Upon a Star from Pinocchio, which beat the Bare Necessities by an almost 2-to-1 margin, 20 votes to 12 votes. As mentioned in previous rounds, either in the video or in the comments, I have a ranked sort of a stretch goal where if I get at least 30 votes for any of these contests, I will sing snippets from the different songs. If I get at least 60 votes, I will sing the songs, not just a cappella, but also sub in my own voice for instruments. This basically serves as an excuse to not have to play the individual clips, which are of course owned by the Walt Disney Company, and avoid getting my videos taken down. Here you go, in its entirety, the winner of When You Wish Upon a Star. I can't promise as to the quality of any of this because I am not a professionally trained singer, although I do enjoy a good karaoke night. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star as dreamers do. Hold on a sec, I have to listen to this bridge because I don't actually know how it goes. Okay, I'm going to do my best to impersonate the Disney choral style. Fate is kind, she brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of their secret longing. You know what I'm talking about, Skeletor. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. I'm not going to try and hit those high notes. As much as I want to, I have limits. Limits to my vocal range, limits to my shame, limits. When You Wish Upon a Star wins the Classic region of the Disney Song Bracket. It will face 3 other competitors in the final 4. The first one being I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan. The second one being You'll Be in My Heart from Tarzan. And now we will find out in the last round who that 4th competitor is going to be. The last round I have called the Dark Age / Renaissance for the rough chronological period that it takes place over. It's commonly referred to that period in the late 60s, through the 70s, through the 80s, up until about The Little Mermaid or so, as the Dark Age, and the 90s, of course, the early 90s to mid-90s, as the Disney Renaissance. this isn't a knock on the quality of any of these actual films. My personal favorite amongst these, The Great Mouse Detective, is technically considered part of the Dark Age. I'm going to read out the 16 songs that will be competing in this last region, as well as my justification for seeding them in the way that I did. So if you come at me going, why is that song from Fox the Hound so low? I think that Aladdin is better than Beauty and the Beast. Just know that my general calculus for doing all this is based on a combination of things like whether or not the song charted, if they charted, how high, were they nominated for awards, if so, did they win? And as I'm doing this, I'm also finding out that some of these, according to the RIAA, are actually certified gold or platinum. So that's also a consideration as well. As I mentioned, I think before in my pop video, I'm not generally counting chart performance from other countries. I'm very provincial, sorry. I mean, these are all our American films. Some of these did pretty well in other countries. Apparently, Robbie Williams, who I refuse to acknowledge, as is my right as an American, apparently had a cover version of I Want to Be Like You, which charted in mainland Europe. But as I said, that doesn't make a lick of difference here. Now, in this case, though, there are a couple of these which did have cover versions. Notably, Celine Dion and Peabo Bryson had a duet version of Beauty and the Beast. In this round, I'm basically just going to be counting the versions from the actual movies versus the pop version, because I did the pop version for the pop bracket. Maybe some of these I should have put in the pop bracket. I don't know. Too late to say now. I had to figure out how to fit 100 years worth of music into a nice, even 64-song super bracket. I guess I could have done 128 songs in the overall bracket, but even I'm not that crazy. Without further tangents on my part, let's get into the competitors. So, our first seed is going to be Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid. I ranked this one so high simply because it probably got the most accolades and the best chart performance of any of these. Under the Sea, it won an Oscar and a Grammy, and also went triple platinum. Our second seed is Beauty and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. I'm just going to be covering the Angela Lansbury version, which is great in its own right. I mean, it's Angela Lansbury. But just so you know, Beauty and the Beast did actually reach number 64 on Billboard, and it also won an Oscar and was also certified gold. I'm not exactly sure if that was the movie version or the Celine Dion version, but the fact that it won an Oscar put it ahead right here. Our third seed overall is The Circle of Life from The Lion King. Circle of Life was nominated for both an Oscar and a Grammy, but it also was certified gold and reached number 18 on the adult contemporary, I believe, charts. Seed number 4 is Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid. Went triple platinum, so despite the lack of awards there, that puts it pretty far ahead of the rest of the competition. Number 5, Be Our Guest. No awards for it, but did go 1 times platinum. Number 6, Hakuna Matata. No awards there, but did go double platinum. Seed number 7, Friend Like Me from Aladdin. Was nominated for an Oscar and a Golden Globe. Did not chart, did not go gold or platinum. Seed number 8, Poor Unfortunate Souls. Originally was going to rate this a bit lower, but apparently it did actually go gold. So, you know, don't come at me if that's your favorite song. It did chart, so that's something. Seed number 9, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, another great villain song. This is where we start to get into songs that basically didn't chart, and I mostly just... this is where we get into songs that either didn't really have any awards presence or didn't chart, and I basically just seeded them based upon how well they were known, and in some cases how near and dear to my heart they are. Seed number 10 is Goodbye So Soon, sung by the late Vincent Price, off of the soundtrack to The Great Mouse Detective. Seed number 11 is also The Great Mouse Detective, also a song by the late Vincent Price as Ratigan, the film's version of Moriarty. Number 12, I Want to Be Like You from The Jungle Book. It's the oldest song on this list. Seed number 13, The Wonderful Thing About Tiggers. Technically, it's from Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. I guess in the 70s at some point they put all these Winnie the Pooh movies together and made it a feature film. Whatever. I just thought that Winnie the Pooh deserved some kind of representation on here, and that was the first one that came to mind. So all of you Heffalumps and Woozles fans out there, go make your own bracket. I don't know what else to tell you. Seed number 14. It's another case where it's one of my personal favorites making the cut. This is number 14. It's Whistle Stop from Robin Hood. Now, you might not remember this one, But I am going to whistle this because the tune is going to be recognizable to anybody out there who was aware of early 2000s internet. That's right. This song was the basis for the infamous hamster dance. Seed number 15, this is one that was on the fabled Babysitter mixtape that I got. Best of Friends from Fox and the Hound. I'm not going to show my kids this movie. I'm going to put off showing this movie to my kids as long as possible because, oh my God, just the having to, we're from two different worlds and we have to hate each other and we have to kill each other and just it's you know, it's a bit maudlin, yes, but it's way more sad. It's way more brutal than a Disney movie ought to be. And this song I thought was, you know, initially was like Randy Newman or something like that. Apparently it didn't even chart. It didn't have any awards game whatsoever, but you know, as a kid it sure felt like one of those songs. Finally, we have one last song from one of those early Dark Age Disney movies, the Aristocats. We have Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. Yes, the unfortunate jazz number, which, while catchy, does have a very unfortunate stereotype in it, the Siamese cats, if you know what I mean. And that rounds out all of our competitors for this, the fourth and final region of the Disney Song Brackets. I'm going to read out to you now what the matchups are going to be, and I'm going to include the ballots in the comments section here. Unfortunately, YouTube is still not letting me put clickable links into my comments, so I'm just going to have to keep, you know, harassing them until they do. If it doesn't work as a link, then you can just select where it says ballot, the web address right there, put it into your search bar or your, you know, web address bar or whatever, and just go from there. I swear to you that it works. Anyway, for our first matchup, our first of 8, we have our first seed, Under the Sea, versus our 16th seed, Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. For our second matchup, we have two villain songs actually fighting each other. We have Poor Unfortunate Souls, our 8th seed, versus Gaston, our 9th seed. For our third matchup, we have our 4th seed, Part of Your World, versus our 13th seed, The Wonderful Thing About Tiggers. For our fourth matchup, we have our 5th seed, Be Our Guest, versus our 12th seed, I Want to Be Like You. For our fifth matchup, we have our 2nd seed, Beauty and the Beast, versus our 15th seed, Best of Friends. For our 6th matchup, we have Friend Like Me, our number 7 seed, versus our 10th seed, Goodbye So Soon. For our 7th matchup, we have our 3rd seed, Circle of Life, versus our 14th seed, Whistle Stop. And finally, for our 8th and final matchup, we have our 6th seed, Hakuna Matata, versus our 11th seed, The World's Greatest Criminal Mind. It doesn't look good out there for my beloved Great Mouse Detective songs, but I have some hope that there might be some Basil heads out there who will turn the tide. I don't know. The state of the world right now demands that we have something, at least, that's very low stakes. So I hope wherever you are, you're safe, and that this gives you just a little bit of brightness in all the darkness here. I will say I'm going to keep this up for a little less than 2 weeks, so about June 4th or so, I'll tally up the votes and make the next video, so you have until then to cast your votes. Encourage your kids to do so. Encourage your dog to do so. Encourage the kids down the street to do so. Encourage your parents and grandparents who love Disney movies. Encourage your other parents and grandparents who hate Disney movies. Whoever, you know, just get them to join in. The sooner we finish with this one, the sooner I will move back to Grand Theft Audio and pick another station from the various Grand Theft Auto games. I've already covered 4, which you can view on my channel. Vice City for Lovers from Vice City Stories, The Journey from Grand Theft Auto 4, San Juan Sounds also from Grand Theft Auto 4, and Wave 103 from the original Vice City. That still leaves us with nearly 100 radio stations from all the other games in the series. So if you have one in particular that you'd like to see me cover, feel free to leave it in the comments. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick one at random when I'm done with this one. If you say you like one in the comments, whichever one gets the most comments under it, I'm going to pick. But we'll see how this works out. Anyway, hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.